Blackgyver. What's good, family? It's Blackgyver. Just wanted to bring you guys inside the lab, show you a little bit of the process that I go through when I'm making beats. Before I get started, I just want to say what's up to a couple of my people. Keys 3 Stacks, The Product, Monster, Jigabot, and my girl Fox, holding it down. Let's do it. Okay, now one of the first things that I do when I'm trying to come up with a beat or a concept is I try to find a point of inspiration or who I would actually be doing the music for. Sometimes I imagine that I'm doing the beat specifically for Jay-Z, 50, Nas, somebody like that. You know, if it's an R&B track, I may think of, Beyonce, Danity Kane, or maybe even I'll think of another producer and some of the work that they've done and just gain some inspiration, not necessarily copy their style, but just, like I said, gain some inspiration. I like to go by the motto, keeping it simple sells. And what that means is knowing your role as a producer, staying in your lane, and making sure that the track that you composed stays in the pocket. You don't want to overshadow the artist. You don't want to have the track be bigger than the artist. You want the music to support the artist and almost be the table, so to speak, that the artist is served up on. When you go to dinner, you have a table and the food is put on the table. Well, the consumers are looking to be fed. They're looking to be fed what it is that they want from the artist. That's the food. So nobody's really looking at the table. Just try to keep it simple. I don't do a lot of sampling music. If I do sample anything, it'll be drums. The drums are like the root of your beat, or like the base of your beat. You want to make sure that your drums are really, nicely EQ'd and things like that. So, spending time to either make your own drums, which is quite time consuming, or either, purchasing some drums or sampling drums that are already, EQ'd, is a very vital part of my production. Whether I'm doing an original composition, totally original composition, or whether I'm doing a sample, chop style sample beat. I don't do a lot of loop beats. If I find something that I like, I'll chop it up and I'll try to invert the chops, play them inside out or from the outside in or something like that, or just change up the pattern. So if you're doing a chop style beat or a loop based beat, the first thing you want to do is find some material. So now that I've located what I want to use from the sample material, I've imported that into my PC, into my laptop, and I'm gonna use a program called WaveLab, and I'm gonna chop that up and make it a little cleaner before I put it on my flash drive and then import it into my iMac so that I can use it with my recycle. Okay, once you have the piece of music that you want to sample and you've cleaned it up, you want to make sure that you save it under the name of the artist, and you want to make sure that you save the name of the song. The worst thing that could happen is someone wants to buy this music or use this music for a project, and they try to go for sample clearance and you don't know the name of the artist or the name of the song. So do yourself a favor and just save it under the artist name and save the name of the work. Okay, and here's my wave or my sample as I've imported it into my iMac into Recycle, and I'm ready to chop it up. Okay, so what I'm doing now is setting the chops. I'm getting the chop lines as close to the waveforms, to the downbeats and upbeats that I want to use as possible. So whenever I place them in the sequence, they hit with my drums. Okay, so now that I have everything set up the way that I want it in Recycle, I've imported that into my Reason 4, and I've opened up a Dr. Rex sampler, and I pretty much play around with the chops until I come up with my groove or my melody, and then I lay that down with my drums, and then I fill in everything around it. So this is what the sample sounds like. So what I'm doing now is picking some of my drums and getting those set up in my redrum drum module on my Reason 4. Okay, so now I've arranged what I wanted from the chops and came up with something like this. So now what I'm going to do is put my drums around it. So here's what I came up with so far. And that's about it. You gotta leave room for the artists to do what they have to do. Come back in and fill some things in. Stay tuned. We'll see how this thing finishes up. 1.